All right, today we're jumping into a huge topic, maybe one of the biggest of our time. How do we actually build ethical AI? Let's get right into it.
I mean, it's a question you've got to be asking yourself, right? As this tech just explodes everywhere, who's actually in charge? Who's steering the ship?
And here's the kicker. The truth is, nobody is. Not really. And that's a pretty startling thought, isn't it? For something with this much power, this much potential, the driver's seat is basically empty.
And that right there, that's the heart of the problem we're digging into. AI is just advancing way, way faster than our ability to govern it. It's a total mismatch. So yeah, how did we even get here? And more importantly, what can we possibly do about it?
Okay, so first up, let's break down this central challenge. Experts have a name for it, the governance gap.
And here's what that really means. The way we've always made rules, it's just too slow. It's too clunky for a technology that is literally changing by the day. And that creates this dangerous vacuum where innovation can just race ahead with zero accountability.
So why is this gap even a thing? Well, it's not just one reason. It's more like a perfect storm. First, this stuff is just incredibly complex, right? It can completely baffle regulators. Then it's being built all over the world by tons of different teams. And on top of all that, we don't even have a standard way to measure how risky an AI is. It's a total recipe for just doing nothing.
The analogy here is perfect. It's like we're trying to enforce traffic laws for a horse and buggy on a superhighway full of hypercars. Our tools are from a totally different time. They are just not equipped for the speed and scale of what we're dealing with now.
Okay, so if the old rulebook is out the window, what's next? Well, the solution has to start with building a totally new foundation. And that foundation is based on a few core ethical principles.
And I want to be clear, these aren't just some nice-to-have suggestions. They're the absolute, non-negotiable bedrock. If you don't have these, any attempt to govern AI is pretty much doomed from the start.
So what are they? They are transparency, accountability, fairness, and human agency. You can think of them like the four legs of a table. If you're missing even one, the whole thing just gets wobbly and collapses.
But what do these words actually mean in the real world? Well, transparency isn't just some tech buzzword. It's about knowing exactly why an AI denied your loan application. Accountability? That means when that decision is wrong, we know exactly who is responsible. Fairness is all about actively hunting for and correcting bias in the system. And human agency? This one is huge. It means a real person, not an algorithm, gets the final say on the big stuff.
All right, so we've got our principles. That's great. But how do we actually turn these ideas into a real-world plan of action?
First things first, you have to realize that no one group can handle this alone. Not the government, not the tech companies, nobody. It has to be a genuine team effort. You need government to set the rules of the road, you need industry bringing that deep technical knowledge, you need academia doing the independent, unbiased research, and you absolutely need civil society there, making sure the public's interest is represented. Everybody has a crucial part to play here.
Next up, we've got to be smart about this. We can't treat all AI the same. That's where a risk-based approach comes in. It just means you don't regulate the AI that picks your next song the same way you regulate an AI that helps doctors diagnose cancer, right? You put the heavy-duty scrutiny on the really high-stakes stuff, like healthcare, finance, the justice system, and you allow for a bit more freedom and innovation in the lower-risk areas.
And finally, we have to get into the nitty-gritty. We need clear technical standards that you can actually enforce. Things like data quality. That's not just jargon. It means making damn sure a medical AI wasn't trained on a bunch of flawed, biased data. Or algorithmic robustness. That's about stress testing the system to see if it can be easily tricked or hacked. I mean, these are the details, the nuts and bolts, that actually build real trust.
Okay, so this all sounds pretty good on paper, right? A solid plan. But what happens when the rubber meets the road? Let's talk about the reality check.
Look, the hurdles are huge. Let's not pretend they aren't. For one, governments often don't have the money or the in-house tech experts. Then there's the fact that AI is global, which creates all kinds of messy international legal headaches. And seriously, how do you even enforce a rule on a piece of code that's constantly learning? These are not easy problems, not at all.
And this is so important, they're not impossible to solve. The source material is really clear on this point.
They're tough, for sure, but they can be overcome. It's going to take real investment, getting the right experts in the room, and genuine international cooperation. It's doable.
And that brings us to our last section. And honestly, it might be the most important one. We need to talk about urgency.
Because here's the thing, every single day we wait, these systems get more powerful, they get woven more deeply into the fabric of our society. That window of opportunity we have to really shape where this is all going, it's closing. And it is closing fast.
There's a quote from the source material that just nails it. It says, "The frameworks we establish today will significantly influence how AI develops and deploys tomorrow." Think about that. The decisions we're making, or the decisions we're failing to make right now, they're going to have consequences for decades to come. We are at a critical moment.
So, what's the big takeaway here? It's that we have to be both fast and smart. The goal isn't just to slap a bunch of regulations on AI. It's to steer it, to guide it, in a direction that truly serves the common good, that benefits everyone, not just a handful of companies or countries.
And so that leaves us all with one final question to think about. It's not a question for some politician or tech CEO to answer alone. It's a question for all of us. Because this AI future, it's not something that's just going to happen to us. It's something we are actively building right now, together. So the real question is, are we building the future we actually want?